Hello and welcome to HR Talk, People Management's regular discussion about topics making the news in the HR world. I'm James Brockett, and this week we'll be talking about the labour market and the annual migration cap. CIPD has just released its latest labour market outlook survey, which shows a worrying slide in business confidence and hiring intentions. But despite this and the government's immigration controls, demand for hiring migrants from outside the EU is still high. I'm joined by Gerwyn Davies, Public Policy Advisor at the CIPD, to tell us more. So, Gerwyn, the overall picture of your research is very much that business confidence is flagging and private sector recruitment particularly showing a dip. But it seems the appetite for hiring migrant workers is still high. Why do you think this is?
That's right. We have a strange anomaly where we have persistently high levels of unemployment, which looks set to increase actually as we go into 2012. But a situation where the number of employers reporting recruitment difficulties remains high. And this is because we have a much more highly skilled economy. The number of jobs that are coming on stream are highly skilled. The number of lower skilled jobs is decreasing, many of them of course being farmed out to the likes of China and Southeastern Asia. And as a result, the supply of highly skilled and skilled workers coming into the jobs market is simply not meeting the demand, which is why we need more overseas workers to fill the very highly skilled positions, particularly in areas such as engineering and IT, and indeed in the public sector where we have a shortage of doctors and nurses, among other key professions.
Yes, the cap's intended to make employers invest in UK workers rather than looking abroad. But what does the LMO tell us about the likely employer response, whether this approach will work?
Well, we actually asked what they are doing to respond to the cap, and there is mixed news for the government on this. The bad news is that the first resort for employers is simply to look towards the EU, and we're seeing many employers now looking to the likes of Ireland, Spain, countries which have particularly high levels of unemployment and to fill some of these roles. However, there is some good news in that less than a quarter say that they will upskill existing workers, which was a stated objective of the government, and less than a fifth, about 18% to be specific, say that they will recruit more graduates. However, there is another fly in the ointment, and that is a small number of employers that say that they would offshore jobs abroad, which has been a concern for us. And the key thing about this is it's not just about unskilled workers that go into for instance, the sort of manufacturing jobs that have gone to China and Southeast Asia. We are talking about professional services firms here, among others.
One of the very popular routes for immigration has been intra-company transfers, and particularly those earning less than 40,000 were included in the cap. So is there any evidence that this route is becoming less popular?
Well, if you look at the evidence over the past 2 years, this has been the most popular route used by employers. Intra-company transfer schemes allow multinationals to transfer staff between countries, but I think this 40,000 cut-off is weakening demand according to our labour market results. In fact, it's probably the least popular option used by employers. But I think what's most interesting about the statistics is that the use of ICT, as it's known, is most prevalent in the IT sector, and that shows very high demand. So it does demonstrate that actually the number of sort of senior IT professionals who've got the required skills is still lacking in the UK, and we're still looking to overseas, and in particular India, to fill those positions.
And what about the Tier 1 route under the migration cap? That was drastically reduced to only 1,000 positions for highly skilled workers. So what's the survey tell us about how that's operating?
Well, as you say, it got cut to 1,000, and to many, and it actually created a lot of misunderstanding, because many people thought that actually this route was effectively closed. However, what we're finding in our current survey is that the post-study worker route is being used. That is actually open to employers still until 2013, and I think the real pressure point, I think, will actually come in 2013, because it's been so well commonly used by employers. But that, together with a progressive reduction in number of visas that will become available as the government seeks to achieve its overall aim to reduce the net migration figure, which continues to increase, which suggests that employers will be in for it'll be very challenging for them in the second half of this Parliament as government sets out to achieve this objective.
Yeah. So overall, although it's early days for the immigration cap, how would you say it's operating? Is it working?
Well, if the overall objective is to get numbers down, then clearly the policy isn't working. Since May last year, we've actually seen the number of the net migration figure increase by a third, and the reason for this is because the number of EU workers has increased sharply, while the number of non-EU workers has come down. So I think what's happened is that we've sort of plugged one gap and another one has opened. And as the state of the European economy still seems to be a concern, particularly among the peripheral economies, that suggests that the government will come under greater pressure to achieve this objective because they are powerless to stop the flow of EU workers coming into the UK.
Thanks very much, Gerwyn. You can keep up to date with all the latest HR news on our website, peoplemanagement.co.uk. Well, that's all for this week. Until next time, take care.